You right? It's Fragments. We are on episode, I think, 25 now.
Half a year, that.
Maybe it's not the number we've skipped. It would be 25 if we've been playing straight. We've been jumping all over the show. Yeah, here we are. Remember, we don't have Jack at the moment. The Nest is on a secret mission. We do have this horrible character, Quint, aka Monkey. And Quint, aka Monkey, is going to tell us what happened last week. Go, Quint.
Last week, a young fellow by the name of Quintinius Villanix, aka Quint, fell through a portal. And what did he see but a giant, enormous library filled with some kind of monstrosity made out of spell scrolls, which was summoning portals and fighting the party, with Vanessa absent, who turned out had fallen through a portal of her own and disappeared. The party successfully defeated their foe and then spent some time chatting to Mr. Brain in a Jar by the name of Cespinar, and getting some lore dumps and getting a tasty spell book.
Which the DM has not prepped.
Yeah!
You're the worst for loot. You are the worst.
Absolutely, there's a spell book. Just pull one of the Curse of Strahd spell books up. It's Victor Valakovich's spell book. Excellent. Yeah, there's absolutely a spell book. Make no mistake about that. You'll see just how much of a spell book there is in a minute. I ignore the sounds of rapid clicking. What can Quint recall from the conversation with Cespinar, Brain in a Jar?
Well, Quint learned a lot because he did not know where he ended up, and learned that the Falkovnia is the place where the party were before, although the library is in a separate demiplane to that. There's also the Barovia, which is the first demiplane of Dread, of which Falkovnia is one. The Ulmist Inquisition are trying to get there before their enemies. I made a lot of notes, so how much of this should I be recalling?
Feed.
They're seeking to resurrect Strahd von Zarovich, the first Dreadlord. One of the members of the Ulmist in Falkovnia is using the name Strahd as a code name. They're trying to get to Barovia before Ludmilla, who is in charge of the priests of, and I wasn't sure how to spell or say this, Vesuvius?
Osibius.
Osibius.
Osybbus.
Osibius. Sometimes the plane is destroyed when the Lord is killed. Other times the plane is absorbed by other planes. The way in or out almost always involves 3 of something, such as 3 standing stones or that kind of thing. What else have we got? Feldorn's Silver Thread is supposedly the real name of this person who's going by the name Strahd. If we want to pretend that we are part of Cespinar's crew, just tell them we know Cespinar and they'll think we're part of the Order. The talismans let you go to a specific plane, and activating them always involves some kind of different method, and sometimes the consent of a Dreadlord might be required, apparently. Which in this plane, Falkovnia at least, it would be Drakov. But she can't, as the plane is her punishment, is what I've written down. And she's ruled for 3,000 years, and the party were brought here by an arrow talisman. Or arrowhead, rather.
Pretty good.
The lore that I gleaned, as well as some things about the party.
Ooh.
I'm so excited we have a note taker.
I know, me too.
I'll make it very clear. I'm not a habitual note taker. I'm trying really hard to take.
No, that's good.
This is very good. This is very good.
Yeah, there's a few refreshers for me and Luca there. There's definitely a few points where you went, yeah. I've made a point because obviously with the last campaign, I was very much a proficient note taker. I am kind of like, my character has an intelligence of 12, and if I can't remember it, neither can he.
See, Whisper has keen mind, so I just rely on the DM to tell me what I have forgotten, but Whisper still remembers.
I have keen mind, so I would know this, DM, basically.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I would know this, I think. Would I? DM, maybe.
Would I not?
Good job there, Quint. Award yourself inspiration.
Yeah, you can have a single piece of inspiration
As a treat.
as a treat. Oh, do you know what? As well, while you were going through that, I just found that. I just found that spell book.
Mm.
That's really, really handy. So yeah, multiple. Oh yeah, I'll have inspiration as well. Yeah, thanks for digging that out.
There are so many things that Quint said that was wrong, but the DM was distracted. He's like, yeah, yeah,
and we
yeah, yeah,
leveled up.
yeah.
We leveled up a couple of times actually.
It's
Yeah.
true. It's true.
I have placed the spell book into your inventory, Quint.
Mm.
You now wield the rapidly assembled spell book.
Ah, oh no, everything's bloody hidden, isn't it?
Shouldn't be.
Great. Do I have to edit it?
Should all be there in the description. But anyway,
I think they're items in a hidden compendium, so they just come up showing like a crossed out eye that I can't view.
okay, we'll sort it.
Sure.
I'll unlock that before next week's session. You get this piece by piece. So you went back into the doorway to the library. You joined hands and said the code word to return, which was
Unagi.
Almost.
Almost.
yes, and were teleported back. Let me just have a look here. I'm just dropping that item to Quint so he can see what he has. And yes, we find ourselves pulled back again through that wormhole.
Oh, I just remembered the important thing. That time has passed quicker and we are now closer to the new moon. But we don't know how close.
No, you don't know how close. You hear brains.
Pretty close. Mm.
The sensation of being pulled through the portal continues until you find yourselves landing heavily, managing to stay on your feet, but you suddenly feel wood underfoot. And you find yourselves in a dark, not that I think it matters to this party at all, even with the change in character. A dark, familiar room.
DM.
Yes.
Does it look...
And who went over and pulled a light switch?
I think that was Quint testing whether he could turn lights on and off.
Okay. Go on, Hazim.
Looking around, knowing that we might have been gone for some time, knowing that the intention was that the refugees from Silverbass were going to come here, that was the intention. Does it look like this room has been lived in, moved around at all, or does it look like it's exactly as we left it?
Maybe a perception check.
What a great first roll.
Great first roll, yeah, fantastic first roll.
Is the dummy still on the chair?
It is not.
Okay.
It is gone. You are still feeling a bit nauseous from the experience of being pulled through the wormhole and going from a relative quiet of the library to the sudden howling of wind outside. Difficult. Yeah, but you do notice, yeah, the doll is gone.
Then, as I kind of steady myself, notice it fairly quickly, I will kind of put my hands on the other two and like kind of pull them in. And looking at Quint.
Ooh, I better check something on Quint actually, because I'm so drummed in on what your passive perceptions are that I haven't looked at what. So 13 for Quint. Okay. As Hazim beckons you to get to huddle together, Whisper, you realise you can hear, separate to the howl of the wind, you can hear soft breathing in the room. It's almost, well, you're muted for a start, but also
Coming from where?
it's from the direction of the beds.
Do they look heaped?
They look a little heaped.
I'll just catch Hazim's eyes and just kind of like, nod to the beds.
And I'll point at the. As she's looking that way, and I'm looking at the rocking chair. I point to the rocking chair.
I will look and I assume notice that the giant doll thing is gone.
Yeah, the mannequin is gone. And I point to the door.
Quint will very slowly and quietly turn to the door.
All of you make me a stealth check.
Oh, fuck. Can't believe Hazim's first two rolls are a 1 and a 20.
Does my crit
Yeah,
help
it
him
helps. Overall, it does, yeah. There is a creak, a heavy and there's a shift in the bed covers. After a long moment, the breathing continues.
I will. We're locked, so I can't move.
By the door, can I? Is there enough of a gap that I'd be able to see if there was like a bolt in the door or like internal to the door if it was locked at all?
Yeah, you can see there is a bolt high up on the door, but it is open.
Okay, I will try to very delicately and quietly open the door, or at least test the handle first.
Do the heaps in the bed look like they're children, by the way? I know this is a child's room, but doesn't necessarily mean.
The beds look short enough that you know if a human adult were lying in it, they'd likely have their legs hanging unceremoniously at the end.
Cool. I think Quint was checking for a lock or anything.
Yeah, there's
I'm
no
trying
lock.
to-
You're able to.
I'm gonna try and stealthily twist the handle and open the door.
Make me another stealth check, given you fucked up with a 1 and now you're trying something different. You benefit from Hazim's good graces walking across that floor. Yeah. So, you do not see the room exactly as is here. Most of this debris is now gone. The room has been not restored, but this destruction is no longer there.
Okay, I will. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. I will stick my head around the corner and, assuming it's all fine, step into the next room.
Whisper, you see Quint and Hazim file out the room.
I am looking out the window. What does it look like out there?
A dark and stormy night.
I will beckon Quint over.
I'm gonna very gently close the door behind me.
Make me a stealth check, Whisper.
Yeah.
It's like pitch black in here, right?
Mm-hmm. As you sort of close the door and then go to like turn the handle back a bit, so you're not just letting go and go into that letting it go to the release. There is just a grinding squeak of the metal.
I am just going to slowly back up from the door.
I will lean into Quint and speaking quietly. There were children in the bed. And before we left, there was some sort of mannequin sat in that rocking chair. That is the point that we entered the library. And so, people have come here after us. They have
What?
this.
What are the chances that we've come back to the wrong point in time?
Wasn't this place abandoned?
Yes, I'm saying, what if we are here before it was abandoned?
I mean, it looks like there was debris and destruction here still. It has been tidied somewhat, but I feel more that it was tidied afterwards. If it had been tidied before, then
Okay.
we would not have seen it. At least I imagine that's how it would work. I don't know. I'm hoping that it is the refugees from Silverbass. They have children with them. We have not seen children elsewhere in Falkovna as of yet, not this far south. And so, providing we do not startle anybody, we will hopefully find friends downstairs. But we should still travel carefully.
Do I see that?
You do.
Oof.
Whisper. Stood
I'm
at the
just
end
gonna
of a
kind
corridor.
of do an intake of like breath.
As I see it, can I pull, because they're both next to me, can I pull them into this room with me?
You see that she is walking directly towards you. You give a heavy male, wide shoulders. Villain, you see the head and the sword at her hip. She passes through you. Through the wall.
Did she look like one of the Falcons? Or did she look like, she didn't look like Silverbass, right?
She looked as she did when you saw her out in the forest.
I'm gonna turn to
Was
Hazim.
that Drakov?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm gonna turn to Hazim and be like, one has to die to become a ghost, right? Is that correct?
Here? I don't know.
I don't know how any of this works. Is it possible we have come back so far after that we have somehow overshot Drakov passing in her own realm?
I don't know. I do not know if the domain would stay around if she was dead.
Someone new took it over.
Is that possible? This place is, they said it was her prison.
One would assume that anything that has a lord, a new person can become a lord. Right?
Countries, nations fall and conquer and taken over by other places. It could be that if someone dies, it does not mean they are replaced. Where's that coming from?
You hear quiet laughter coming from down the corridor where Drakov just came from.
Perhaps we should exit with haste.
I'm gonna put my hand on Whisper and try to push her behind me so that I'm taking the lead because she has a habit of going first.
Oh, TM, how do I feel?
How do you feel?
Excited.
I will turn to Hazim as he's like trying to manhandle me. What about the ward on the stairs? I am assuming it has been broken.
I don't know.
We need to look.
I presume we're heading down anyway, so.
I'll let you go ahead. And then follow after.
As I am moving forward, I am gonna go behind Silong. Go into ninja mode.
Mm-hmm. I would give you, with being this dark, you see a bit of light coming from under that door.
Okay. I'm gonna hold up a way for Quintinius, lollygagging all the way back there.
It's all right.
And taking your time standing here, you can hear quiet voices.
Good thinks to himself. What a good job it is that everyone has dark vision.
I'm gonna listen at the door. Presumably you want to make a perception check?
Yes, please.
Tim, are these stairs that I'm seeing the ones to the downstairs?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Careful, Quint. One more when you go into a teleporter. What did we get? You could just hear more than one low, quiet male voice.
I look to Whisper. I'm gonna lean in and kind of like I feel like this is a me and Whisper decided, and Quincy's just kind of like being dragged along for, even though his opinion is important.
Well, they know the area.
Are we looking for answers, or are we looking for a way out? You were worried that you needed to rest. I don't know if we can afford to get into a fight.
I still do. But I do not know. I do not know when we are. And I feel like we have a unique chance here.
A unique chance what? To flee or find out?
To find out. Our chances of fleeing are the same, I'm sure, as they always are.
There is a single person talking to themselves. Either they are writing, reading, speaking into something, or that's a bedroom and they're asleep, talking in their sleep. And
I do not know how
I'll-
ghosts work. But if that was Drakov, I think we should find out who is here.
Then I will slowly try and turn the handle, and you said there's light coming from underneath, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and like slowly open it and then just kind of like crack it open a little bit. Obviously not trying to turn
As
it
the handle turns, you hear from Rumor go, oh.
Then I will I
Yeah.
continue to slowly open it.
And you see the two beds in the room, and you see two men just sort of lying on their separate beds, sort of quietly. One's on his back trying to get to sleep. The other one's sort of been on a bit more of an angle. You see weapons next to the bed, boots at the foot of each bed. And we sort of look up a little bit, and then just do a double take and cry out, what the hell? And like,
So I'm
One
not
of
walking
the-
in. I'm just trying to crack the door open.
yeah,
Oh right, okay.
sort of scrabbles to the foot of the bed for a minute. You can see he's maybe another perception check, Azim. Okay, 16. You can tell that their eye line, as the door sort of cracked, their eye line was initially quite low in the open doorway. And then he seemed shocked, and everyone's like, just look, it's a barricaded. You see one of them sort of getting up and moving to come to the end of the door.
Do I recognize him?
You recognise the one on the left.
The one that stood up?
Yeah.
Then I will. Are they from Silverbass?
No, they both track off. Yes.
Okay, then I will slowly open the door and then kind of like pull my head down as I step out.
You.
Hello.
And you see they're kind of cautiously still hovering around near their weapons, looking quite unsure. It's like, where did you go? Are you actually... Everyone's like, he's dead. There's another one.
No. Not dead. Not yet, anyway. Good to see that you're not either. How long did you wait until you came to the house?
Over a week.
How long have you been here since?
Another week.
So we've been... I'm going to kind of like step in a little bit more. Can you pause?
Yeah.
I'm going to step in and kind of look to whisper as I'm saying, "Sir, we have been gone for 2 weeks.
You left us in the camp the 10th. It's 22nd now.
We were transported somewhere else. It's difficult to explain.
Explain.
Maybe not here and now, but I imagine there are going to be others that would like answers. Perhaps we should rouse them.
Yeah, he turns to you and like, wake us. Yeah. Nods and looks to see if you're going to try and bar his way.
I'm going to step out with him and say, we found another friend.
Pleasure to meet you, of course. My name is Quintinius Velenix. And who might you be?
It's quite a name. Dagmar.
Thank you. What was that story?
Dagmar.
Dragmo.
Dagmar.
Dagmar, of course.
Where did
Strong
you
name.
find this friend?
Part of our long story.
Where is your Vanessa?
We do not know.
Oh. Sorry. Steps back and
And I will kind of like nod at whisper and I'm going to follow Dragmar. Dagmar. Dromgor. Drakar.
Ah!
Ah! the doors are still open, like we left them. We've smashed all the doors in so they couldn't do anything. I'm getting bloody pings popping up. Thought I was on thingy.
Yeah, should be.
Well, I'm on invisible. I didn't think you'd get him on invisible.
Yeah.
Right, which way did he go? Up or down?
Yeah, he went up to the old
Big
master
room.
bedroom, and you let me just get her on here. You find Rekis in just like shirt and pants that she's just finishing pulling on. Sort of sat on the end of her bed, giving her face a bit of a weary rub. There's a couple of sleeping bags in here. There's a couple of families in here. You, after a few seconds looking around, you see that the bed has got 4 kids in, and Rekis has been just sleeping on a roll next to it.
PM, I do not own any tokens with vision in this scene.
That's a lie, because I'm looking at one of them, so you can't see the one that I've moved into a room.
I cannot see anything. I have refreshed.
How strange. How about now?
Nope.
Why are you lying? I'll refresh the scene on my end.
I will reload again.
Lies.
Still blind.
Should we load through now?
Yep.
I like the part where you became a turkey. Ah!
Go, 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 go.
Okay. Yes. So you find Rekis in a room full of like slightly stirring children as she stands. It's like just. She goes to step past you all, and we'll walk through to a room that you know to have been the study where you previously spent a night a couple of weeks ago.
It's good to see you.
We presumed you'd been killed or taken by Draco's forces. We almost elected not to stay here after all.
I'm glad you did. It has been safe here so far.
There were a few oddities and dangers lurking around. A horribly large spider down in the cellar. But
We saw
yes,
traces of the spider, but never came across it ourselves. We managed to clear out most of the rest that was up here, undead mainly.
we lost child the first night we stayed here. Some skeleton monstrosity in the attic stabbed her in her sleep. We torched that, hacked it apart. That was the last bad thing that occurred.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Who do you have sleeping up in the other children's bedroom? In the attic?
We have 10 children. We had 11 children. We now have 11, so they fill whatever rooms they can. I'm not sure which 2 are up there tonight.
but they are yours.
Yes.
Have you seen any visions of people that should not be here?
Yes.
Frequently.
Every few days. I find it curious Vanessa is not with you. I saw her 2 days ago.
Where did you see her?
Walking up the stairs. As if you'd come from the front door. I thought you'd all returned from somewhere. I said hello to her, and she turned and walked into a room. But someone was already sat in there, and they say they did not see her enter. I put it down to being the house. But nobody has been done harm. It's better than impalement.
We were
Separated.
taken somewhere else. It's hard to explain. I do not fully understand it myself, but similar to how we are not from Falkovnia, we were taken somewhere away from here, temporarily. It would seem that the amount of time that we were gone, things were moving much quicker back here. For us, we have only been gone at least an hour. It's no more than a day since we left your camp, but we are told 2 weeks.
Yes. It was only just over a week until the mists come.
We have been informed. How
And
close?
who is this?
Of course. Where we temporarily lost one, we've gained another. This is Quintinius, a very capable fighter.
Pleasure to meet you all. And he like taps his hand on the swords at his hilt, as if to be like, yes, I can fight, even if it doesn't look like it.
Did you say that you were elven or half elf?
He's
I mean,
half-elf.
he's half elf. I mean, you probably just look like an elf to me because I'm not an elf. Okay.
Oh, you fucking racist.
Well, no, because to non-elves, half elves look like elves, and to elves, half elves look like humans. I think you'll find.
So everyone's racist, not just
Everyone's-
me.
Apart from the half elves, oh, they're the only ones that aren't racist. You don't wear a hat or anything, though, right?
Nope.
Okay. God, we are quite the little foreign motley, aren't we?
I have a hood, but there's no way I'd had it up indoors. That would be unbecoming.
I mean, depends whether you're a ninja or not, doesn't it? We found him where we were, at the same time that we lost Vanessa. We have no idea where she is, but
Is that not suspicious to you?
initially,
Initially, forgive me, but for you, did you not just meet this man an hour ago?
yes.
Yes, I really have no idea where I am. It's quite the thing.
Perhaps I need to fight him as I did with you before we become friends.
Perhaps.
He is not
Well.
wearing red, and he does not have the tattoo of a falcon. So for me, he's about as close as an ally you can get here.
Who has tattoos of a falcon?
It is the main military here that is ruled by Drakov.
Ah.
Mm.
But you said that. You're
Public roles as well.
Yeah, when you're like, who has tattoos? She's like,
So what is your plan? Preparing for the new moon?
yes, we've been hunting a bit. There is a room downstairs which, given a bit more time, should be able to grow vegetables. So we're trying to get that ready. For a more long term. And then we will barricade. We should
You're
not see
confident?
it. We should not see it too badly here because of the mountains.
Where will
Most
get
of
it
the
worse? The fort?
The foot, very likely. Anywhere at the edges of Falkovnia that is not mountain. The dead still appear on the mountains, but so many of them topple and tumble down that by the time they reach the floor they're in, they are almost ruined. You may find some stragglers here and there, but to the south, yes, where you said you first came upon Irina, that will not be well. Wandering over from Del Munster towards Airy.
What of
And
the
for-
north? Lekar
the-
and Mofenzi?
From the north,
They-
Lekar will be besieged. They normally focus. They are drawn to the most part towards Lekar. But from all directions. So everywhere suffers as we make our way towards Lekar.
I'm gonna just turn back to Havid and say, I'm going to look around a bit. And I'm gonna wander down the hallway. I'm just kind of watching out for any more wandering.
She sort of calls to you.
people.
Most of the rooms have people sleeping in. Be careful.
My eventual plan is to head downstairs because I want to see if that ward is still in place.
Okay, yeah. You can make it round to the you make it round to the top of the stairs.
Can we see it though? There's only Vanessa that could see it, right?
I
Yeah.
thought Vanessa lit it up or something for us.
No,
No.
Vanessa had detect magic.
Yeah.
So could see it.
We saw it on the screen, but it's for Vanessa's benefit.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're back already.
No, I'm just. I don't know where the stairs are. Is this them?
Oh, that's just another one of the rebels. Yeah, I moved him onto the stairs before.
These go up though. I'm looking for the ones. Oh, okay, I know where I'm going now. Me and my keen mind, I totally know where I'm going.
How safe is Mofenzi?
In terms of when
In
the
terms
dead
of,
come,
I'm aware
well.
that inside the walls it may be more dangerous for us anyway, but
it's well fortified, and the doctor has some of his primal soldiers and more Fenzi agents, and they normally repel most of the undead, and what they can't, they corral into the hot soil.
did you not ask the civilian folk to defend the settlement? It is defended by Pieter's people.
There are almost no civilians at Mofenzi.
It is much like the fort then.
Yes.
It is primarily Lakar then that has non-conscripts. So if we go to
Everyone.
Mofenzi,
Everybody is a conscript. This is why we've left.
so if we are sent, so everybody's put a sword put in their hand at the new moon. No place is any more safer than the other than the terrain.
Correct.
But better to arrive in one of these places before the new moon is upon us, as opposed to getting caught out on the road. I do not imagine the gates open easy once the new moon starts.
Not for days before.
What do you say it was the 23rd now?
22nd.
22nd?
You should have. Is the mini calendar not on your screen?
I mean, who uses it? I'm not going to start using it when it's never
Me.
been used before.
It's that calendar has been updated on the daily this whole campaign. This is no
Right.
Curse of Strahd. Where it's been, what, the 27th of third moon for like 50 fucking seconds.
Okay. It is what? 2 days travel to Mofenzi from here?
Yes.
Will the gates be open by the time we arrive?
Morfenzi, yes. I'm trying to remember if... Here's the thing. Does Vanessa not have the signet ring?
Yes, she does.
There'd be a mild retconning there, then.
Why?
I'm trying to think if
If we've not got it, I say we've not got it. Unless you need us to get that.
no, it's more just you have a token and then a player has had to jump out for a bit. It seems unfair for the party to be affected by it. I'm trying to remember if you told Rekis you met Drakov and had the signet ring. I don't think.
I mean, we appeared when they were fighting in the courtyard, dressed, and Vanessa was kind of like waving around the ring, I think. So I don't think it's necessarily hidden.
Yeah, she was trying to. Yeah, I don't know if we had a conversation about it though. You said they had an interest in Whisper. I imagine this alone may gain you enter even if the gates have been closed. Besides, the agents tend to scout out any sort of advance party up until a couple of days before. So they may be unwilling to open their gates to most. They're physically capable of doing so. I believe they only barricade it once the mists thicken.
The agents. How many people populate Morfenzi? We're still not aware. Is it presumably bigger than the fort?
Yes, a couple of dozen, I believe. Depends on how many guests the doctor has at the time.
We might not have made allies of some of the agents that we came across at Erie. Might make things troublesome. But what isn't when you're dealing with Drakov and her people?
And what is your business, Quint?
I mean, I would very much like to go home, but I gather that that's not going to be particularly easy.
Where is home?
I'm from a little town called Dunfell. Hazim said that he's aware of the area that I'm from, a similar
So he is
location.
You are all from the same land.
Broadly speaking, yes.
And what do you do?
I'm but a humble apprentice, being so young. So whatever my master tells me, I suppose.
What do you apprentice in?
Oh, you know, a bit of this, a bit of that. We primarily deal with cooking and creating concoctions.
Is this fluff enough that you are considered yourself to be lying, Quint? If
I am
so,
very much like.
I think his face was very much alive.
Yeah. Make a deception check. She.
Who knows? Maybe he's not a very insightful man.
Oh, Rex is a woman.
How
Oh, shoot.
dare you?
She's pretty much Stingy from Vikings. Main chick.
She's tired. Concoctions.
Oh, you know, if you combine different chemicals and substances or collect the venom from particular creatures, then you can create some interesting
concoctions.
Elixirs, you might say. That kind of thing.
You can see that she is quite perplexed by a couple of the words you've used. We're not much for beverages here. We water, milk, mead, and sometimes wine. But yes, that sounds... So a cook's apprentice who carries blades.
Well, it's my master doesn't really approve of that kind of thing. I have tended to sneak out in the evenings. I was actually on my way out to visit the local tavern, which is a couple of miles away, when I found myself not where I thought I was. But the blades are something that I like to learn about in my spare time, shall we say. Not something my master approves of.
Really? So you are a student of the blade?
Self-taught, but I would say so, yes.
It's late, Hazim. What do you think? Shall I in the morning? Have
Ma'am,
you already tested his metal?
I have not had the chance.
Well then, Quint, in the morning you can either spar with me or spar with Hazim. I'll let you choose. If Hazim is interested in it, of course.
Always.
Good. Then
He
it's
looks
settled.
up at Hazim like, oh, right.
Where is Whisper?
Excellent.
She looked worse for wear.
Hmm.
Do any of you need to eat?
We are a little broken and bruised. Food will always do well, but as I said, it feels like it's only a day that has passed for us. But rest, most definitely.
You can have the next room. Will Quint be staying with you, or do you want Quint to have his own room?
Quint can stay with us. I will keep an eye on him.
Very well.
Anything else you need to tell me or you want to ask before we get some food for you and you get some rest?
The ghosts you have seen. We saw Drakov when we got here.
She looks shocked at that. Are you sure it wasn't her?
She passed
She could...
straight through us. I don't know whether she can do that normally.
No.
It did not look like she recognized or was even aware of us. It was on the upper landing into the children's playroom. Just walked straight through us, straight through the wall, much like you said with Vanessa.
I know she caught and executed one of our men only 3 days ago. So up until then I know, at least, she was around.
Can I kind of with the nature of Hazim and his Al-Sarah and kind of like visions and stuff that he was having, can I roll to see if I'm aware of anything like spirit walking or anything like that?
You can make a...
I mean, feel free to make it as high as
Sure.
you think it should be, but I'm just
Oh,
thinking.
well, I'm just checking the...
Because I feel like it's a common enough thing that you might be aware of stuff like spirit walking, but it might be more like you walk in a dream, not necessarily you would see somebody like walking around in the ethereal planes or whatever.
So you're basically inquiring about the astral projection spell.
I mean, not well. I mean, I guess of a fashion, yeah. Whether it would be an arcana thing or whether a history thing, whether I'm aware of it through the stories. Because I don't think I'd know about the magic of it. I was thinking whether I've heard other people talk about it.
Sure, make me a history or an arcana. We're going to it's DC 19 for details.
Cool. Ooh.
Now you've heard stories of people appearing in ways that are not ghosts. They're not the dead. You've seen people sailors who've seen a loved one who wasn't on the ship fall overboard and die, but have returned home to find them alive and well. Things like that. Sometimes the sea has been known to play tricks on people. Maybe this is something like that. You have no detail beyond that, though. Okay. Whispers thinking something there.
It was unobtrusive. Her appearance. It did not look like she was necessarily there. More like a remnant of somebody. I don't know, perhaps she had once been here. A memory of the house, maybe? I don't know. But something to be mindful of.
You've been seeing the occasional oddity, as I said, but not Drakov.
No, when I came across Mongo, Mondus, the dude, the rebel. Dagma, sure. When I came into Dagma's room, they presumed I was dead, and so I was already expecting that you've seen things. But I figured that Drakov was important enough to mention. But yes, it is late, we should rest. And then my group will decide what we are going to do on the morrow. I imagine we will not stay around for too long.
Understandable. Seems like your plans have a time frame on them now.
Well, that depends whether we believe we're going to survive the new moon or not. If we are, then our time frame is open.
Whisper, you went to the stairs while this was happening to check out the ward. Getting to the top of the stairs, you, as before, you see nothing. It's an empty staircase. Is there anything you would like to do there?
I actually, I don't know how, Whisper doesn't really know how this all works when your god doesn't come and get you at the end. But she's fairly certain that Drakov, at least the Drakov that we know, is alive. So for one thing, she has been just for most of this, she has been sitting, watching, trying, almost hoping that she's gonna see anyone else walk by, or a glimpse of her own party walking up the stairs, almost strange, like how Hazim said, memories. And then after like a long while, she's gonna get up the courage to step down the stairs, and see how she feels.
Yeah. Walking down the stairs, you feel fine. You see there's a lamp in the study area to the left. We won't go down in case you, unless you want to go exploring further.
I know it'll teleport me,
Yeah,
so I figured I'd just hang out here.
And you see there's an armchair there, sort of near the doorway, near the foyer, with a lamp on next to it, and a guard that you recognise has sort of sat back, holding onto his sword, clearly sleeping on some sort of guard duty near the front door. You recognise him from around Silbervass. He's one of the ones that led you to Ghoul Ripper when you first arrived in Silbervass, and as you sort of standing on the stairs, he sort of stares a bit and looks at you and is like, "Are you really here?"
Are you?
Whisper?
Yes.
Why are you
We have
blue?
made-
She does
Oh.
look just like a ghost. This is amazing.
A trick.
And you see him just discreetly and we will sum her up. Where have you been? You know, we won't do all that again. Unless there's any specific information you want to get from this guy, we can assume that you have that same.
No,
sort of account.
I would impart that, like, I am, I've been seeing strange things. Unless he had seen anything strange, I would just sit there and suggest that we watch out for strange things together quietly, and then eventually I am going to, I'll, like, if he's right there, I'll give him a warning, like a very vague apology in advance if I start acting strange upon descending the stairs.
Yeah. What then?
What then? Do I feel anything in my head? Do I feel...
No.
Okay. I am going to turn and go to walk back up the stairs, just to make sure that I can.
Yeah. You head back up the stairs. Good night.
Good night. However, I am just going to sit back down on the top step and just, like, watch everything. Like, just, I know nothing is really happening in this area, but I want to watch for anything walking by. And I'll just wait for the others to eventually come find me.
After a while, Dagmar comes by and tells you he's going down to fetch food for you all, and the room's being set up, and asks what you'd like, and then quite sarcastically, with quite sarcastically jokes, but the options are like chicken, wildfowl, rabbit, or chicken. We've just been hunting. There's nothing other than meat.
Yeah.
He goes down past you on the stairs, and you are directed back to the room that has been set up for the three of you.
Which room, DM? Where should we go?
The room just above the library you were in.
Okay.
Oh dear, this window's all. Did I? Oh no, it was the office room that I smashed, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'm kind of sat on the edge of the bed, and as Whisper walks in. Where did you go? Stairs?
The stairs.
Yeah, I figured as much. Curious as to whether you were dead.
or if whatever had me before would come back upon descending. I have no idea if the ward is still in place.
Risky to try it on your own, Whisper. But I would expect nothing else of you.
You know, I existed on my own before you.
I am thinking less of you and more that I could always do with having one ally than being one ally shot.
Well recovered.
Does Quint feel like there's flirting going on right here?
That friendliness. I don't know. Take it as you will. You've only come in. You don't know this dynamic.
It's often
I
an
mean,
outside eye that
I'd
can most
be
easily
interested
detect
if it
it.
looks like flirting. Whisper's so not a sexual creature in my mind.
Whereas-
Is he surviving?
I mean, Hazim's literally just spraying all over her. From his tail's lifted at the back, just glands like a sprinkler in this room. You're now attracted to him as well. No, I don't know.
I already
Playful,
was.
definitely playful. It will become your end. You know that. Your curiosity, charging first, asking the questions later.
Eventually, we all get caught in the end.
I have no intention of dying in this place. I do not know what happens if we die in this place. If I'm going to die, then I want it to be where I know that destiny can reach me.
Are we still planning on going up to those 3 traders? I feel
We have
that we are
about-
so close.
I think it makes sense. We have about a week before the new moon. Plenty of time for us to reach Lekar, if not Mofenzi. I think good rest, and then we travel north. I imagine less than half a day for us to get there. But better now than later. Is all that area surrounded by mountain, or is it kind of opening up onto forests?
Lekar or more fancy way.
No, sorry, the 3 traders.
You know that, yeah, you know that it's forest. You know there's mountains to the west of it.
Okay. So it's probably, well, I mean, it depends how far the mists come, I guess. If the mists blanket the forest, we don't know. Imagine it is remote. If the mists do come there, then it could be filled with undead. So if we are going to do it, then let us at least eliminate what might be left over, than trying to come after the moon where it might be heavily populated again.
After that, are we going for Murfenzi or Lekar?
I feel there is little at Lekar. And I look over to Quint. I was like, there is much to explain to you, and I will do as best as I can. If there are any questions, then feel free to pause and ask. Better than you walking around ignorant all the time of where we're going and what we're doing. There's going to come a time where it is important for you to choose whether you join us or not. Right now you are with us because you have little choice. But you should be able to make an educated decision as to whether we go this way or that.
I don't suppose you have a map of the area, do you, so that I can get more familiar with my surroundings?
Which of us ended up with? I got somebody to draw us a map, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever in my
I was
inventory.
looking for it under the journal to see if there was like a handout or something, but I didn't see anything.
No,
The
I think the
scene.
DM has to. He has to share it as a scene.
But I think the module is one of the ones that's affected by version 10. So
Mhm.
you don't have a full version of the map. So I can provide you one, but I'll do so in Paint. later on with a bit of obscuring them.
I will kind of like lay it out. I'll take it out and lay it on the desk. I kind of point where we are. Essentially, if you look at the map, it is almost like a big sea that kind of like curls back on itself. You've got all badlands in the middle that you don't really go to, and then just like a big road, pretty much going all the way around.
We're not even sure they're Badlands, though, right? It's called
It's the
the Heart Soil. Which
yeah, but we've been told you won't make it across there. You'll die.
Yeah, only agents of Morphenzi can cross, and it's unclear why.
Well, I mean, we just found out that Morphenzi will barricade the walls and push the undead into the heart soil. So I presume it is just pretty badlands, but we don't know enough about it. And I kind of point where we are. So we're at the bottom of the sea. Lekar is like halfway up, and then Morphenzi is all the way around. It's like the furthest point going all the way around. I think that's right, DM?
Yeah.
We believe that this Strad fellow is in Morphenzi. That is from the letters that we read. That was the last place. Lekar is the main city. It is the capital. It is where Drakov holds her seat.
There's
we don't
also
really have much of a reason to go there.
a doctor.
We came here at the south. There's a fort, Fort Watton, which is a front post. We came in through the mists on the southern road and were quickly drafted, put to task. The soldiers were soldiers, the people were people, as you would expect. The leadership, one particular woman, Irina, she was difficult. She embraced her role a little too much. The things you need to know about Falkovnia is that everybody that is drafted into the military, they do not get to choose to leave. If you do, you end up on a spike. And as you quickly seem to realize and remember, people aren't too familiar with cooking. And so a chef's apprentice, it's good. There is still some sorts of
getting drafted something
magic
that's likely
here.
to occur to us?
The man who rules in Morphenzi is Dr. Pieter. He has some abilities. Why are you looking at me like that for?
I was just wondering if you can you hear us? There we go.
Did I have my volume? Had I knocked my volume down?
Because Luca and Monkey both at different points had said things or asked questions, and you just
I was just like going and going and going.
So the first time I put it down, I can't. Luca said something quickly, but Monkey full on asked a question, and you just like lit and kept going. That's where I was like, "That's a bit no." And I saw Luca also go.
Yeah, I think,
Yeah,
you know what?
yeah.
I think it happened when the music went quiet, so I didn't notice that I turned down because I didn't hear any music. So, and then I stop and go, sorry, you wanted to say something.
You mentioned getting drafted. Is that something that's likely to happen to us at all?
This land is infected by war. They have been fighting for so long that it rules everything. It is low on resources. They have no magic. All they care of is survival. It is complete I feel like I wouldn't know the word totalitarianism, but I want to say it.
Dead bad.
It is the rule of the one, the rule of the strongest.
So if you appear to be a resource that can give an edge up in the war, you are no longer a person. You will be that resource.
So when it comes to having my metal tested on the morrow, do I want to do well or poorly?
I would suggest that we politely beg for another day of testing metal, as we have many places to be.
Oh, this is quite the map.
I would not worry too much about it. Better to spar with me than with Rekis. Perhaps.
What's her combat prowess like, if you know such a thing?
Impressive.
I am quite a formidable fighter, and well, let us say that it was a draw.
I will just deadpan at Quint.
And have you leveled up since then? You've honed your skills since you last fought?
Now I could attack her twice! She was able to teach me a few tricks. Perhaps she will be able to do the same for you. I do not know. But
good to know, good to know.
So we are right here. I cannot ping. Never mind.
We're at the very, very bottom.
It's a handout.
You are basically where you have Hills of the Sleeping Army.
Yep.
Next to the E of the V, you have the cave sort of map pin. Mm-hmm. You are just to the northeast of that.
Yeah, like on the bend of the river where there's a little bank.
Yep. Yeah, you are fairly close to Lake Kriegvogel.
Okay.
So as you can see, Quint, to the top left of where we're currently at, so the east, the west of the map, you can see the 3 traitors. So that's where we're talking about going to.
Mm-hmm.
I see. For ritual reasons.
It was supposedly a place important to Drakov's history.
I don't like the fact there was a big monster right next to it on the map.
Zombies! One of the things you must realize is that they don't know much about magic. They know nothing about deities, not in the way that we know about them. They know about Drakov's power and military power. However, they do know about Whisper's abilities and her connection with her god. And so we were given something of a grace to help them.
And not immediately drafted to the military. Impressive.
Oh no, we
were.
Oh.
We have already fought. We are somewhat...
We were able to prove ourselves valuable enough.
And then we fled. The moment we got a chance to step outside the fort, we helped the people of Silverbass, the people that are in this mansion, and we fought many of Drakov's people, killed many of them, and killed one of the commanders, the captain of the fort, Irina, who we had met. There were no witnesses that we had done it, and so there is still something of a grace period that we might have on our side. I don't believe anyone who is still alive has seen Vanessa use magic, right?
Correct.
Okay, because we've managed to kill everybody.
Except Primrose made reference to being aware of it, if you remember.
Okay.
This Irina, did you have some quarrel with her, or?
No,
she was a mad dog.
She was...
worst infected by the illness in this land.
Whilst this summary is going on, I may as well give you some for the viewers' benefits and for Quint's and for Whispers. As you describe these people, this was Irina.
Hold it together, Whisper. Hold it together.
Drakov.
Whisper hates
scary
her.
Kind
Luca
of
is aroused.
Such an angry lady boner.
Who else have you mentioned so far?
We've not seen Peter, Vanessa, but
Yeah, you
I,
see
d- I don't think we've. I don't think we've seen. I don't think we've mentioned any other NPCs. There's Rekis art. You didn't see the Rekis art, just the
Yeah.
token.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
I would mention that when we get to Morfenzi, there is something you should know about the undead and the doctor there. Some of the undead seem to be sentient and looking to live a life of sorts. We came across a village where they were sitting in their homes, going through the routine of the day, attempting to farm. They had hierarchical structure.
It did not look like, for the most part, that they were intentionally doing these things. More that they were memories of what they once did. They are
I
far.
would argue, though, with some of them there was intent.
The mayor,
The mayor,
but most of the ones we have seen seemed like they only remembered about being people once.
Perhaps something akin to a rabid dog before it fully succumbs to its illness.
I am worried that while everyone speaks of undead, and you can tell that the concept is very foreign to her, it does seem to just perhaps be a disease. However, instead of a cure, it would seem that there's just an ever ongoing war. However, there seems to be something with the doctor in Morfenzi and experiments with the undead and his agents.
They seem
Which
to.
I am unsure what the point is there.
They seem to be granted certain abilities. From the description we had, it even sounds like the doctor is able to use some form of magic or whatever incarnation it is to cure wounds. There's nothing like they've seen from us. And you will find that everybody in Falkovnia, if it was not already apparent, is human. Anyone that is not human does not appear that they were from here. There are a handful of people that have been mentioned.
But they accept that you have arrived and you're not a threat to them, despite how very different some of us might look.
They still remain very suspicious.
Understandable. And Miss Whisper, your divine magic, does this seem to have any effect on these creatures, the undead?
It does. I mean, I do have abilities and power through my god that can heal as well as harm.
But not restore, as it were.
Nothing that I have tried or have had the ability. I don't think I had
Really, you've ever
any
healed an
disease
undead?
spell until recently. So yeah, nothing that I've had the chance to try.
Well, it's dangerous to get near them. I'm not surprised that someone is conducting experiments on them. It's something my master himself would occasionally do with creatures of undeath. He was very keen on some kind of... I mentioned chronergy. I don't know if you're familiar, but it's a magic to do with time. And he was trying to revert time in some ways. And so he used undead creatures and was trying to wind back their state, I suppose, but with mixed success. So I have been face to face with some creatures of the unliving variety before, but usually in a very controlled environment, as you might imagine.
It's very interesting that you were pulled through a portal.
Well, yes, I think it's likely one of my master's experiments gone horribly wrong.
What is the name of your master? That's important to you.
Why do you hesitate?
Sorry, I'm just having flashbacks. His name was Gariadus Malandon, powerful mage in the area, although not that there were many in the area we're from. But he's
History?
raised me from a small boy.
Can I see if I've heard of them from history? DM?
Sure.
I'm well travelled. But probably not that travelled.
The name is not familiar to you.
Where you said you're from, I'm presuming. Whereabouts is it in Faerun? Out of character.
About
Did you say Sword Coast?
Yeah,
Okay.
South Sword Coast, about 200 miles east of Candlekeep.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I won't have travelled anywhere near there in character. For the most part, aside from our last caravan adventure, which went horribly wrong and brought me to the domains of dread. Don't go to the Sword Coast; it's a terrible place. Okay. It is.
Where all the most exciting things happen.
The Remembered Realms.
So the plan is to head to the Three Traitors. Is there something in particular there that would be of use?
We don't know. However,
I mean, in this, you are as well versed as we are. With our talks with Sespinar, we know the key
a useful
to
person
leaving...
to know, for sure. I say person in the broadest of senses, obviously.
Yes. But the key to leaving is something... a triad.
We have heard the word triad before. Originally, we considered it might have been the three of us, but now that you are here, presuming Vanessa returns, perhaps there's always only 3 DM. However, when we were making our way here with the survivors of Silverbass, I may have made a statement out loud, promised that I would not leave Falkovnia without anybody that wanted to leave with me. And something happened. Not sure what it was. We felt a swell of magic or something, and I felt drawn towards the direction of the 3 traitors. I feel like I may have accidentally made a bargain with the land. I don't know what that means yet, but one problem at a time.
This place is clearly steeped in some dark magics, in the fact that it is a very accursed pocket plane, so that wouldn't surprise me at all.
Trickery. It is like you hear from the old tales of the djinn. The whole monkey's paw, you make a wish with a djinn and they will always twist it around. I feel my promise was not a promise, but the dark magic seized to try and bind me to it. Perhaps it identifies that if anyone's going to help them, then it is going to be Hazim Alif.
And they say the worst of the zombies will be in the north near Lekar.
For the most part. At least in terms of those that are unfortified. If it's an unfortified area, then I imagine it being out on the road would probably be far worse.
And there are plenty of mountains to the east, which, according to Dragma, will certainly be a boon. It just to me sounds like Morfenzi is a very interesting place with this Dr. Pietro.
I would hope if we are unable to find any sort of relic that allows us to travel the mists, if nothing else, because it was a place that held importance to Drakov's past, we can at least find some sort of answer as to how we fix something about this land, perhaps allowing us to leave. If not one trick, then another.
I do not imagine even trying to solve the problem. If we manage to solve the plague or whatever it is, I do not imagine that would please Drakov, from what Sespanar said. It seems like Drakov wants to punish herself. I do not imagine she is looking for a way out.
I do not know if she wants to punish herself, but we do know that she is not learning from her mistakes.
Perhaps. Anyway. Food, rest. A fight
I
in
have
the morning.
absolutely been eating while we're talking.
Oh yeah, I forgot the food had arrived. Well. I will go easy on you in the morning. I know that without your magic, you might not be quite as strong.
When I say self-taught, that is certainly no lie. My master is a
Inside check.
my master is a wizard in his truest form. I only learned to use swords from reading books about the ancient arts of the elves and such. It's I've never really fought anyone in real life before.
It does not matter. You are more skilled than someone who has not picked up a book, and more skilled than someone who has not picked up a sword. You have done both.
A good way to look at it, I suppose.
But yes, obviously I will not be able to make it look too easy, because all that will happen then is that Rekis will decide that she intends to fight you. I think she just wishes to see what you are made of. I do not feel like I need to test you quite so much. I've already seen that you have fought beside me, even though your arrival is most definitely suspicious.
Before it gets much later, I'm going to see what rest I can get.
Do
We've
we
been
take
sitting
watch?
and talking at the very least.
Yeah. I will take first watch, even though we are more secure here. We still do not know. And
I will take second.
I will prop myself into the chair at the desk and let these two decide what they want to do about sharing a bed.
I mean, I'm already sitting on the floor, and I've never shown any sign of, like, having an issue with the floor, so I'll absolutely just curl up where I am after finishing eating.
Oh, I just got a text from Luca. What's a turtle's head? No? Yeah, we can take a break. Yeah, we can take a... What we'll do is, as you settle on down...
My Discord is down on my thing, so I had to text you on my phone, like, break soon? Just...
That's not... Okay, sure, yeah, we'll see that's what you messaged me, but I still don't know what that means. It must be an American term. Yeah, as you settle down for your evening's rest, we will take a 10-minute break.
Do you need 10 or 15 minutes, Luca?
Oh my god!
You have to wash your hands.
Luca, just go up and wake his son up. just to
Ooh.
spite him.
Just
I'll do
to-
that.
Okay, cool. Well, we will be back in 10 minutes. We'll see you then.
Back into.
Looking cozy.
No, well, you didn't time that too well, unfortunately. But now we are back. You were a second too early. Oh, that's wrong. Oh, there we go. Yes, we're back. So you are settling down for the night's watch. For the watch. Your new companion, Quintinius, with you. Everybody else having left you to a bed. And yeah, that's where we are.
Azim curls up on the foot of the bed.
With his duck bill that he thought we didn't notice. So who
I
was
take
taking
watch.
first? What? You're taking
I'll take first
watch.
watch at the desk. Yeah.
And are you doing anything during your watch?
Probably trying to stay awake. Albeit, other than having a fight, we kind of woke up, came here. We've been awake for like 6 hours, right? Since our last sleep, technically, thereabouts. Yeah, so I don't feel like I just feel more drained than like fighting off tiredness. So yeah, I don't know. Probably just bored, wandering around like some montage, like just lying on the desk at some point, like some bored kid.
It's the whole Spider-Man Far From Home thing. A big long montage, and then it's been 32 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm doing at the moment.
Okay, yeah.
Probably
your
carved my
watch-
name into the desk at some point because I got that bored.
Your watch passes uneventfully. Are you also, have you started uploading or downloading anything during the break? Because your camera frame rate has really dropped. You're very jittery to me now. No. Okay. Who was taking second watch?
I was.
Luca, yeah. Miss Whisper.
Yeah, Miss Whisper. You sister and a sister. Wrong chat. So I see. Monkey got it.
It was terrible, but yeah.
Yeah, Hazim beds down.
Oh God, I just.
Whisper.
I climb in bed next to Quinn. I ain't sleeping on the floor like some idiot. I will climb in next to the bed. I mean, it's a pretty big bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, I'll lie on top of the sheet, so.
Lie on top of him. It's like, consent. Whisper, what are you doing during your watch?
I'll browse some of these books and/or scrolls, see if there's anything interesting in here.
You can tell it's been rifled through.
Particularly, if there's any books containing like stories or fairy tales or short works of fiction.
My understanding my recollection when this room was previously searched, that it was all quite boring financial stuff. Ledgers and accounts and minor tips on how small expenses have been saved by trimming, austerity on the Decavan estate by Dranzorg or his stewards. It is a very, very... It's boring enough that it's all financial and sort of like site management. Even more boring by the fact that it's so old as to now be like irrelevant.
All right. Then I'll just sit peaceably while the night goes on.
You are sat there for a while, around watching your companions, trying to find sleep. Yeah.
Okay.
Near the end of you hear banging at the door of the room.
I presume it doesn't wake anybody else up.
No.
All right. No.
It's Thomas.
I'll go stand by the door. Yes.
Papers fall off the shelves and scrolls to the floor behind you.
I will just kind of mutter out, if you are wanting to communicate. I don't know what you are trying to say, but if you are just bored and wanting to play tricks, then at least you're having fun, I guess. And I will go back and sit in the chair.
You see one of the pieces of paper that has fallen to the floor. You think there's like an insect at first, or something moving over, or a mouse, but you have a look and you see that a picture is appearing on the page. And
I'll look at it.
And it's just a very crude, smiley figure of a child with a taller figure next to it that has long floppy, well not floppy, but longer rabbit type ears.
Oh. So you are bored then? No sleep for you?
Reply.
I do not know how the ghost thing works. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Quite crude.
Are you wanting a story?
Very, very quick. Yes, please.
Would you like a story of beginnings or adventure?
Another one comes through. I like cats.
I know a story of a cat. There was once a cat at this farm that my ancestors once visited. It was a very clever cat, as most cats are. I believe it called itself Tab. It stalked my ancestors, in fact, on their journey to a safer land.
My cat was called Buttons.
Was your cat nice?
No.
They're a clever kind of allele. Stealthy hunters. My people call them Buffa. You want more?
No reply. Okay.
There was once a brave rabbit called Hazel, trying to lead his people to safety. They had come across a terrible land ruled by the militaristic views of one leader that kept all of his warren in fear and control. And Hazel knew this was not where he wanted his people to end up. He wanted a place of warm, soft sand in the sun, high on a hill where you could see the Elil coming for miles. And eventually, he had to fight this leader for the safety of his people. And cats, clever and opportunistic like they are, this cat decided to attack Hazel during his confrontation with this ruthless leader. And a little girl showed up from the farm and saved him.
What was her name?
Lucy.
Oh, okay.
Should she have a different name? She can have a different name if you want. It's a wonderful thing about stories.
No, that's fine. Running out of space on the paper now.
Is there another type of story you'd like to hear?
And it writes yes, but then it immediately puts afterwards, I have to go now, my mum's waking up.
Okay. I'll just kind of sit back in the chair and try and figure out what the hell that means. I will hold on to that piece of paper though. Just kind of fold it and hold it in my hands.
The rest of your watch passes uneventfully. Another sort of 20 minutes or so. You handing over to Quint?
Yep. I will walk over here and just kind of gently wake him up.
Muted!
You're muted.
Yes, of course. My watch. He's a bit startled, not used to being woken up by, races exotic, and he'll get up and put on. He'll armor up again. He'll have taken the studded leather off for the sake of sleeping, and will, since it's the last watch, is gonna slowly get back into it.
I'll curl up. I'll just take your spot on the bed, and kind of just burrow down into the blankets. But I will just. There seem to be ghosts, about this evening.
Ghosts?
I think I had an encounter with the ghost of what I assume is a child.
I'm sure there'll be nothing like that.
I told it a story. It seemed happy and then said it had to go because its mother was waking up.
I see. Well, I'll be on the lookout for child ghosts. And he takes a seat at the table and breaks out the spell book, and is going to very much not be. I mean, we're in a shut room with a closed door, so he's basically just gonna read through the spell book for his time.
Yeah.
Yes, sleeping Hazim.
Well, I was sleeping in the bed with the person that was woken up, and then they were getting into armor stuff. Is it fair to say that I could have roused at some point during this?
Sure.
I will not go back to sleep. I will lie in the bed, pretending, or at least just lying there, staying awake. I will forgo a long rest. Because I ain't going to sleep with some random dude that I met coming out of a portal for no money. So I will forgo my long rest, but let
Okay.
Whisper take hers.
Okay, so you are scoping this guy out through a peering eye, and he just stands above your bed like a Nazgul.
No.
Okay.
Not that I think you will do anything, Monkey. However, in character, I ain't taking no chances.
Okay.
Well, in and out of character, I'm very glad I don't get to stab you in the face.
You're glad that you don't? That's nice.
So
We've come so far.
make me a just an Arcana check for how. Obviously, you haven't got the materials to transcribe any of these, but an Arcana check for just. Did the contained spells come up for you in the end? I can't remember if I sent them to you separately or not.
I saw them in Discord and have noted them down. Yeah, I do have some parchment and ink in my backpack, but I do not think it is of the quantities required.
Yeah. Yeah, you're able to identify, for the sake of viewers who can't see this and your colleagues, the following spells are outlined in this rapidly assembled spellbook. Blade Barrier, Blade Ward, Blink. Unfortunately, they're not all bees. Confusion.
Didn't get past the bees.
Confusion. Should be like
The first half of the alphabet of spells. Oh.
I was gonna go. It's good. The book contains Abby Dalzim's horrid wilting, absorb elements, acid damage. No, so Blade Barrier, Blade Ward, Blink, Confusion, Flaming Sphere.
It's like a spell encyclopedia, just got the A section.
This is spellbook 1 of 26.
Yeah.
And
dear.
Gravity Sinkhole, which when you're looking at that, you would notice some base foundational similarities between that spell and how a lot of your master's magic works. Not exactly the same, but the same elementary sort of elements to the incantations.
Okay. After having read through that, he would also break out a book of lore he has in his backpack, and he'll read that to himself, which no one will know about.
What is the book of lore?
I mean, I see you reading a book.
You do see me reading a book.
Peeping on you. I seen pull a book
Peeping
out.
Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tell us about the book.
No.
Because you haven't got anything prepped for it.
And because the party members wouldn't know about this. So
Okay. You can message it to me.
Sure.
So I have elements of it. Yeah. After a while of reading that, you hear some footsteps out in the corridor. And you hear the soft closing of a door through the wall behind you.
Do I know the layout well enough to know what is in that room next to us?
You would have saw that you went past a bathroom on your way from Rickus's chamber round to the library where you spoke.
Okay. Well, on first hearing the steps, he would put his hand down to the hilt of his sword and just listen. And if he remembers that there is in fact a bathroom there, he'll just wait and hopefully hear the steps going away again. hear some.
After a few minutes, you hear a bit of running water, like a bucket's been poured in there, and then footsteps coming towards your room.
And
What's
cushions on the hilt.
seeming to pass it for a few minutes. You hear the closing of a door. You recognise it being the library you were just in.
At this point, he's, I think, would probably just start to relax and go back to reading, because obviously there's a lot of people in this building, so there's going to be noises.
There is a very, very light knock at the door.
Hand still on the blade, hilt at his belt. He will very, very well, attempting to be very quiet, will open the door.
You see a not as armored as this picture, but you see a woman with a sword at her back, looking a little tired.
Yes, hello. How can I help you?
I saw the light under the door, and like you said that you had returned in the night. I saw candlelight. Do you need more food or anything?
Oh no, we're fine, thank you. The others are sleeping. I'm just reading a book.
Okay. Just doing my rounds. Couldn't sleep. Okay. Good night, hon.
Thank you very much. Good night to you too.
Right. Yeah, footsteps recede down the corridor.
At this point, DM, I'd like to say, given that I've watched him sleeping for a while, watched him reading for a while.
Watch me sleep, you creepy perv.
I mean, I was doing that during my watch.
He was just stood over you.
And you know, hand to the blade, and I feel like he's had every chance. If he was gonna do something, he would have done it. I'm gonna just allow the sleep to drift over me.
Okay.
And now he strikes!
So Quint, with your 30-foot sleep sense, you can now tell that the game is afoot. Yeah, so you're just reading this lore.
Yeah.
The
And when there has been like noise and stuff, I would say he would be visibly nervous. But once things quiet down, he's just gonna chill and read a book.
Cool. You see the sun start to come up. Well, it's a bit brighter. It's always very murky around this house. But yeah, it starts to brighten a bit. You see the first bit of a grey dawn coming up. And eventually, yeah, Hazim, give yourself a short rest. Whisper and Quint, give yourselves a long rest.
Yeah.
Could have been better. That's not. We'll take it.
Yeah, you are all rousing. Do you let your companions wake naturally, Quint? Or do you go out of your way to wake them before just the natural sounds of the house wake them?
That is an excellent question. I suppose I don't really know what time they expect to get up, so I would probably just let things be. They wake up to the natural light and to the surrounding noises, I suppose.
Yeah. By about 8, you start to hear the sounds of children who cannot be bidden to be quiet. Sort of,
Looking for the tablets.
Yeah, looking for tablets.
Nightlight's gone off.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. So you find yourselves waking.
And I look worse now than I did when I went to bed. Look unrested. Good morning.
Ah, good morning, Hazim. Do you feel better than yesterday, I hope?
Marginally. I was watching you through the night to make sure that you didn't slit our throats, so
Oh,
thank you for that.
well, good news for us both then, I suppose.
Mm. No. Oh. Okay, let's find the breakfast. And I kind of get up, scratch. And I'm just gonna walk straight to the door.
Quinn folds up his books and puts them in his bag and follows Hazim.
Is Whisper stirred?
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna see just kind of a head
Disheveled
poke
hair.
out of the of the blankets, just like squinting and just kind of a. I mean, she always looks a little wild,
Rough.
anyways. So, the blankets add a bit to that, and then she'll just kind of tunnel out of her little burrow in the blankets and stand up and pad over to you. She is going to hand you the folded piece of paper.
Hand it to who?
To you, Hazim. I do not know where ghosts reside, but one visited last night during my watch and wrote me notes, and I told it a story. I think it was a child.
You unfold a blank piece of paper, Hazim.
I'm gonna show it to her. A dream? A joke? Or something stranger?
I do not think it was a dream, and it is not a joke, so something stranger.
Breakfast. And I just open the door. I have no
I'll take
opinion
the
on
paper back, and I'm just
Sure.
gonna put it in my pack.
I have no opinion on blank pieces of paper this morning. There has been far stranger things. Did you get the name of the ghost?
No,
Not Lucy.
That's
it
some.
had a cat named Buttons, though.
Okay. I mean, that's not nothing. What did the child want?
It seemed bored. Wanted entertainment. I told it a story. And then it said it had to go because its mother was waking up. Which I thought was strange, but then again, maybe. I know there are places like the ethereal where you can pass in and out. Maybe there's a place like that. And I'm looking at you like at any second you're going to jump in and explain how ghosts work. Perhaps there is some place where these ghosts live when they are not here.
Perhaps. I don't know. This was Vanessa's thing.
Wait for it to be like, breakfast!
I mean, I have just woke up. This is a lot. Perhaps, food in our bellies first and something to talk about. But I'm presuming we're saying this as we're walking.
Yeah, well, I'm not like holding you at the door. It's very much just a I'd tell you about it before I forgot kind of thing.
What about you, Quint? Any ghost cats or anything during
Your watch?
No, a lady who couldn't sleep was wandering around and came to check on us and ask if we wanted anything, but I assured her that since we were mostly sleeping, that we were fine, and she went about her business. I didn't get a name, I'm afraid. I'd give them a vague description of what she looked like.
I mean, presuming nondescript enough that it sounds like most of the people that are here, right? They're all just humans, so to me they all look the same.
A human woman with maybe
Features.
shoulder-length brown hair. It's hard to tell. She was in the dark, so she was all shades of grey to me.
Suspect is wearing a hat. I repeat, wearing a hat.
I mean, if you want, sure, we can ask those at dinner if they've heard of a cat. My concern. I feel like I'm kind of like slightly stirring a little bit more and sobering up. Well, not sobering up, but waking up. If it is a random child of the house, it is what it is. If it is the child that was lost here, I do not know whether it would bring happiness or grief to talk of it.
If it was in fact a ghost and not the house playing tricks, it would mean that that ward is no longer up.
The world just does not allow things to pass through it. If it was already up here, then I don't think it matters. Presumably. I do not know whether ghosts need to walk through the front door or whether they just occupy wherever they are. It is not a ward in the house, no?
Either that or something is still affecting me, which is also still an option.
Perhaps, but we all saw the ghost of Drakov. So
True.
at least you are not fully alone in it.
At least that.
And still, to speak with the dead, it is a gift, if anything. There's much wisdom in those that came before us. Many answers and truths that change over time, but for those that were there when they happened, it is good to have.
I don't know that I learned much.
Well, until we find some terrifying cat named Buttons, perhaps not. But if we do,
We will have learned something. I don't know what it is, but we'll have learned it.
such is the way of Falkovnia. Okay. I am still quite tired. I think I'll be okay. I generally bounce back a lot quicker. Don't need much sleep normally. But, still a few bruises. We'll see how we go.
Do you need healing?
Save it for when I do. I don't think the amount of complaining you do about being burned out, I don't think I need to use your supplies the moment you wake up.
Do we want to try? And I'll just say, kind of side glancing at Quint, to strike out early today on our journey.
Before we have to fight?
By the way, Whisper still blue.
Oh.
Oh, I'm so upset about this.
My entire character's been destroyed.
Would Quint have ever heard of such an effect on a person?
You can make me an Arcana check because you've been around her long enough that you. It's clear it isn't her natural coloration. You can see there's no. It isn't like there's residue or anything
Is it
on
my
her that's
clothes as
doing
well?
it. No.
Just
I'll
my
have seen her
skin and
without
hair
her,
and
right? Because
everything?
it happened while we were in the library.
Yes. Yes. Good point. You, knowing that it is not her nature, and seeing that nothing is on her, it doesn't seem to be like. It doesn't seem to be like, a disease. It clearly isn't like a gradual, like a pigmentation or a fair thing. It looks to be more complete and total. You suspect it may be a magic effect?
Hmm.
From the magical library that we're in, this is a magical effect. I find that hard to believe.
Still blue, I see, Whisper.
Dabba dee dabba da.
If it's any consolation, in my experience, these effects usually are temporary, even if they do last for some time. But
I would hope.
perhaps restorative magics could remove it. Should you be so inclined?
Thank you.
I did once hear a story.
All about how?
This man's life got turned upside down. He was turned blue, just like you are now. And he never recovered. Always blue forever.
And I just leave it at that and walk off, not face her with a little smile to her face, just to make her think she might be blue forever. Just, add a contrast to Quint's options. Perhaps you have to get used to being blue. Could be worse. There are far worse colors than blue.
I guess that is true.
It'd probably only require some kind of lesser restoration magic, not any kind of greater magic.
Are you all heading downstairs?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought we were heading downstairs.
Yeah, we are, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have assumed we would already
You've
reached
on the
downstairs.
stairs. You see more than one child dipping and darting around. As you head down the stairs, you smell cooking meat and hear a number of adults in like morning conversation. Oh, the front doors are closed.
It's so dark in here.
Oh, yeah, it shouldn't be. It's set to have a level of. There we
It's not
go.
back for me.
There
DM.
we go.
Did I pick up the spirit board? I can't remember. I think I was going to take it. I think I had like stuck it in my
thought
bag,
you-
didn't I?
Yeah, you did because the plan check wasn't there, so you took the board.
Yeah. I didn't add it to my inventory. I'm going to add it to my inventory now, though. Spirit board. Ooh. Yeah, I mean,
Now, I would give so as you're coming down the stairs, you can hear the noises. It does sound like it's coming from the direction of where you. Let me just pull you back for a second, Whisper. Nope, you're just fighting again.
Oh god!
Stop fighting. There we go. You would all have heard that the sounds are coming from this doorway's direction.
Ah.
Let's not go towards that.
I'm struggling. Oh, like in here?
Yeah,
yeah, where all these people are in the main dining room.
Ah.
yeah. And you see
Alright.
a number of adults and a couple of children not pictured, all just sat around. What we pinging?
None. Just hay.
Really? Fair enough. All having breakfast.
Without the guests? Rude. Rude.
And you see heads turn towards you when you come in and Rek is good morning. We have some plates set aside for you.
I'm still kind of like half in, half out. Are there extra chairs and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll pull up a
Yeah,
few
you have to
extra-
stand against the wall like the
Yeah.
late kids do assembly.
Yeah. I'll pull up a chair next to Rekis and grab a plate of food, and
You smell coffee.
I smell coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I engage the woman next to me, and I'm just like, I trust there was it was an uneventful watch last night.
It was, thank you.
Excellent, excellent. What was your name? Sorry,
Velta.
Velta. Pleasure to meet you. I'm Quintinius, sir, but please call me Quint.
Mm-hmm. Get some food, get some coffee.
We should try and eat fast. I'll say to Hazim, since we will want to start off as early as possible.
Mm.
Preferably right after eating.
Yes. Yes.
Ah, yes. Places to see and things to do.
Rekis just sort of looks from Hazim to one side, Quint to the other, and just shakes her head, smile, and just goes to cut on her food.
Another
Quint
day.
does not make eye contact with Reckon.
If it helps, and I lean in, I lean into Asa. If it helps, he didn't slip my throat in the sleep. So, either he is trustworthy or he is such a bad swordsman that he doesn't know how to slit someone's throat. Either way, I'm confident to have him walk alongside me for now. Imagine where we're going. His metal will be tested. More than I would be willing to anyway. I'm not here to kill him.
Fair enough.
Remember. But, if he wants to learn anything, and we come back this way, I'm sure there are a few things that you could teach him, as you did me.
I don't think he really has. His arms are too short to do what I taught you. And thin.
So thin, needs so much meat.
I'm gonna lean in quietly while I'm kind of...
Quintinius.
Yes. Rekis.
She reaches over and stabs another piece of meat with the second piece on your plate.
Ah, most generous, thank you.
There's a long walk ahead. You should fill up.
He politely obliges and is just like, thank you.
Everybody was kind of like chatting before we walked in, right?
Yeah, not anything, but like stopped abruptly or anything. It was just
Sure.
several small conversations going on.
When it's back into kind of like little kind of like conversation, just so it doesn't seem overly subtle, I'm going to lean into Rekis and say,
That some of the children that were lost. You have lost a child?
This is. I told you we've lost many
No,
people.
one that you have born.
No.
Okay. Perhaps less sensitive then. Did any of them have a cat called Buttons?
Most houses have cats who have been brought together by a circumstance. Maybe?
I don't feel the need to act on a maybe. Whisper was visited in the night by some kind of spirit. speaking to her. But if it is nothing, then it is nothing. I do not feel it important enough for us to pick away at it. What do you say? It's your house.
Do you think it would lead to some good?
Who knows in matters as these?
I think perhaps no then.
Then we will not meddle. We are here to help when you need it, and we are here to lead, and leave, and whatever you need when you require it.
So you'll go to Morfenze now, you said.
Among other places, but Morfenzi is the final destination. We're looking to go to the Three Traitors.
You mentioned this on our way here, I think.
That has not changed, with or without finesse.
What do you intend to do there? There's nothing there.
Perhaps not. There is a change. I do not know what it is, but I feel it. If Vanessa happens to come this way again, then perhaps you will tell her where we are heading.
Of course.
I think she's smart enough to know that our final place will be Morfenzi. If she can meet us along the way, then I would rather have her with us than not. Now, what of you and yours? You feel prepared here? You feel
More so every
safe?
day we're taking whatever preparations we can to reinforce without making it clear to any of Drakov's forces passing that something has changed. We've all avoided this place for so long, I don't want them to suspect that it's changed. I still have groups of men travelling pointlessly between what's left of Silverbass and Airy and scouting near Fort Wotton. Their families are here, so we are content to run diversion.
I imagine
Keep them thinking we're to the east.
I imagine with the death of Irina, those that they lost in the battle at Silverbass and the New Moon, they are otherwise preoccupied. But once the new dead have been dealt with, I dare say they will come looking proper.
I imagine August may have been recalled to Lekar now. He is normally instrumental to helping Drakov defend the city. Vrachanel will be making his appearances to inspire and whip up the common folk into a defensive frenzy, as he's always paraded out at this time.
What was that word?
Vrachanel.
Oh, the Geth. Cool.
I don't think you mentioned Quint before, did you?
No, I've not. No. He will be in Lekar.
He rarely leaves. Since he lost his companion, he no longer roams the land in the way that he did. He used to be able to cross the valley in less than an hour. He seems unwilling to now travel on foot, and Drakov seems to find him more useful for his celebrity status as a trueborn of Falkovnia now. Although still very, very handy when it comes to a fight, I've seen that much. He's an unbelievably keen blade.
I am aware of his people. Not in any great detail, but the tales I've heard, they are mostly warriors. They are warrior folk. So this does not surprise me. Any that is going to mount a creature such as he did, you would expect them to not
Any of it? What? Sorry.
mount a creature such
Yeah,
as
okay.
he did. You would expect them to be more than just a warm body, a back, such a thing. Perhaps we will meet them at some point. Anyway. Good. And there
Yeah.
we go. Is there anything you need of us while we are roaming?
No, you have. If you happen to bump into any of our men in the Southwood or near the Burnt Manor, then give them our best. Tell them that their families are doing well.
We will. And as I said, if we find a way out of here, I'll make sure to come back here first.
Good. Thank you. We could all be doing good leaving this place.
What did she say?
We could all be doing well to leave this place. As you just sort of stated your reminder,
Yeah.
you
Did I
just
feel the pull again?
You just feel a chill and a pull. Quint and Whisper, despite Luca shitting herself second time in an hour,
Oh my god.
did not hear or feel
It's-
anything.
Started in my right ear on my headphones, and so like it sounded like it was
Stereoed.
coming, like it was in real life coming from the door. Wow, jumped out my skin.
I feel the pull again, and whatever, I don't know what intentions you've got. I feel as foreign as it might feel, I think Hazim would feel quite emboldened by it, that it is like purpose and destiny,
Okay.
if that's what it is. So I kind of like feel like the swell for a second. It's not the chill that I first felt. It's kind of like filled with something. I'm like, and in my head, I'm like, okay, if this is the bargain, this is the bargain. And yeah, I'm kind of happy with it, not frightened of it.
Okay. So breakfast is finished. Does anybody have any last prep they want to make before you set off for, I'm not understanding, the three traitors en route round to the main road to head to Morfenzi? Are you intending on taking the road to Morfenzi, or are you intending to cut through a portion of the forest? I did share that map with you, that temporary Falk map, so you can reopen it.
I imagine we're gonna follow the river to the three traitors, then follow the river, and it's whether we, I mean, depending on what happens, whether we kind of end up at Lakar, depending on how much time passes, or whether we then cut below that lake that's south of Lakar, and then hit the road there. But yeah,
So time dependent, you think you're either going to follow River to Lakar, or you're going to go between Lake Kestrel and Willow Watch, and then carry on round to
Yeah, take the
Morfenzi.
Bridge of Bones over to Willow Watch.
yeah. Bridge of Bones sounds too ominous to not at least pass by.
You call it a bridge. It's a series of bone-like trees where the river has dried up, and
Oh, okay. Okay. I see.
it is now.
We
anyway.
should go to there. I bet it's beautiful.
The Forest of Torches is named after the giant prawn creature that. These are maps we're currently working on.
Don't go to the west where that big 100-handed bastard is that's wandering through the waters.
Very good. But yeah, any prep, anything anybody wants to try and do in my house before getting ready to head off?
No.
No.
If we could grab a bit of meat as rations, day rations, that'd
Yeah.
be good.
Yeah, they can all afford you a day's worth of rations, but then they let you know they're heading out to hunt again later, a couple of them.
Cool.
But yeah, you set up, you set off, you head away. It is better weather outside than it has been on you previously arrived here. The storm seems to have died down a little bit. And you find yourselves setting off north. It's fairly straightforward. The path, following it back. Are you travelling swiftly? Are you travelling stealthily?
I would imagine just by the tree's edge, so we're just literally following the river. We know it leads up to the three traitors, so... But I imagine keeping out of sight somewhat. So,
Okay.
tree line, but near the water, so we know which way we're going.
Let's have a collective stealth check. Everybody, please. Okay. You feel like you're doing a very good job hugging that tree line. You lose sight of Whisper a couple of times. Maybe even calling out for her until hearing her like, I'm here.
Me shouting, because I'm a stealth 8. Whisper!
Yeah, and you travel for a fair few hours until you find yourself on the part of a road where you made the promise to Rekis and felt that tug, and you know
Road?
that
The path.
there's a path near the river crossing.
Okay,
wasn't it?
okay, cool. Bit the back. Sure, cool.
Yeah, and you know that the three traitors are now to your north. And as you start to head into the woods in that direction, that's where we're going to leave things tonight. We'll pick up with you arriving at the three traitors next week. Yeah.
My light has gone off.
A very downtimey episode. I feel like kind of combat, run, combat for quite a few. So yeah, that was a bit of a downtime episode.
It felt like lore dump clarification for Quint as well. I feel like we're a bit more up to speed now with Quint knows where we're at and what we're doing as well.
Goals in sight to get home. Or at least to maybe get out of Fargovia.
Well, just need to find some random talisman and then find out some way to leave. So nearly there.
Yeah.
Oh god.
In 10
Almost
levels
halfway
time,
there.
we might do it.
Well,
Well, yes, that is us for this week. We will be
I've
back
also gotta
next week.
Work out what happened to Vanessa.
Yeah, but we will. We'll be back next week or when you click next video, depending on how quickly I get all these up.
click it next week. Click next video next week.
Yeah,
Then
go on,
it makes-
click next video. Down there. Who fucking knows? I'll put a card again. It's right above me. I'll put a card here if I can. But yeah, thank you very much, everybody. I'm not going to go around and do all that shite because we haven't got to anymore. So we'll just see you all next time.
What do you mean we haven't got to? It was all promotion for the Mad Network. What are you talking about? This
Not
guy.
anymore. We can pay. I know what the rates are now for those shout outs.
Mate, I've been paying them all year.
So yeah, we will catch you next week. Until then, Whippy signing off.